Mr. Pauly, good to see you,
What's
man.
up, buddy?
How you
Good to
been?
see you. Doing good, doing good.
Is it
Hanging
still
in there.
chilly? Still chilly up there?
Coming around. It's coming around 40s today.
Okay.
So from last week, yeah, it's coming around. A lot of rain, a lot of rain. We had that snow and that sat for a little while, but then the rain took it all away. So I got water laying everywhere as usual around my
Dang.
place. And I'll
Yeah, we
stop
got a
going.
little sprinkling and now it's good. We're
Yeah,
good. Great weather
good.
today. I think it went up to like 66. Yesterday was in the 70s. Can't complain.
No, you ain't complaining about that. I wouldn't. I
Nah.
wouldn't one bit. Or what else was up yesterday?
Spot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Briefly. Very
So
briefly.
And so, for those who have been following us along, typically we record these on a Wednesday, but today is actually Monday, December the 4th of 2023. And Sunday, the markets opened and explained to us what happened because we did talk about spot price on last week's show, kind of on the upward. And
It
then what?
was.
Yeah, that was on a Wednesday. So less than a week ago on a Wednesday, we were talking about spot price going up, and then here we are on Monday the 4th. But what happened Sunday the 3rd?
I couldn't tell you. All I know is that markets opened and it shot straight up. Went clear over 2100, which is a new record. I think the record it hit the record on Friday above
Yes.
2080,
Yep.
right? And that was like a new record. And then it went.
That's
What?
that
What?
Instagram off, boy. Did it ever?
Oh, it sure did. Everybody's posting their spot price. In case you didn't see it, you'll
Well,
find it
no,
on
but did
Instagram.
you? I actually added on to that too because funny thing was, is I had a screenshot in my phone from December the 1st of 2022. And without going on Instagram and finding that right now, I believe it was around 1800 and something. And it, for some reason, it was there. I saw it. And then I happened to take a screenshot of 2023's. So you're talking $265 up from a year's time, which
That's a big
this
spread.
is that is a big spread. That is a big spread, and it's got to correct. What is that the right word to say? Like it
Yeah.
like that's a big spread to hold that for a whole nother year. Like you're gonna
Yep.
see the ups and downs, ups and downs. And what are we looking at today now?
Oh, what did it get down to? 20 or 2030 something? Was that
Yeah,
right?
2019,
Oh, 2019. Jeez.
2019. So you're
Okay, so
talking over $100 it dropped in a day,
yeah.
and you're talking it's up 200 and some odd dollars from a year ago, which was Sunday. But yeah, that's what it does. I've got some numbers in front of me I wanted to share. So 15 years ago today, take a guess of what gold spot price was.
15 years ago,
15 years ago.
841.
Ooh, you're close. You're
Yeah.
close. $880.
That's right there.
$880. So let's go to the 10-year now. 10-year gold spot price 10 years ago from today.
1315.
Pretty close again, but off 1205.
Oh, it was 100 off.
1205. So a couple $100 up from 5 years prior, right? So we jump ahead. Let's just go back 5 years. 5 years ago today, what will give me a guess?
I'll go with 1790.
1282.
No kidding.
Yeah. So in that 5 year span, from 10 years ago to 5 years ago, you're talking less than $80. The spot price is up.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That
It's
seems
crazy.
That seems I don't know. That number doesn't I don't know. It doesn't compute well in my brain because I started stacking and collecting probably 4 years ago.
Okay.
And if I started 4 years ago, I mean,
You would have
damn,
got in between what it was a year ago. So
that's wild.
between the 1282 and a year ago, 1823.
That's a big run.
And then
That's
we get
wild.
it 6 months ago, still up, 1963. 1 month ago, 1972. And then to a day ago, 2121.
Yeah. And I know at some point mid COVID, it went down to the 1700s briefly. That would have been a nice entry point. But I think I started buying more once it got above 1800.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I've seen it there, 17 something.
Yeah. Not bad though. I mean, if
No,
if you play your cards right, there's opportunities to make money with gold even. I mean, I don't consider it an investment tool, but certainly is a good way to
it's a
card.
it's exactly what I always thought it is, was, and always will be. Is it's just it's a holding of your wealth, right? If
Mm.
you're in, and many people are, and still are. There's so many of them that bought 15, 20, 30 years ago that are still in here today holding that gold. And you're talking, let's just call it 880. 15 years ago was $880.
Oh yeah, they've beat inflation hand over fist.
Yes, guaranteed.
Mhm.
Guaranteed. But that's, you see, I just cracked my back. That felt great, by the way.
Oh man.
You hear about it all the time as a hedge against inflation. It's
Right.
just, it's so tough to see it because it's not for today.
Oh, of
You're
course.
not protecting for today, but that's what a lot just, they just don't understand that. Give it time and it's going to protect your, call it investment. It's going to protect what you put into it, and it should. The numbers are there to prove it. The numbers
Yeah.
are there.
Yeah, I think when you look at it in the moment, people get really shaky with it. People don't like it for that reason. But when you look at the charts, you look at it over the course of time, it definitely does its job. It
Yeah,
serves its purpose.
totally
So,
makes sense. Totally
cool,
makes sense.
cool, cool, man. I
So
like
that's
it.
where we're at on the metals, man. Because I mean, I don't have it to show yet, but I did buy that new Napoleon gold
Oh,
coin.
you
The
got the
gold.
gold. You got the 1 ounce.
Uh, you have to wait and see. You have to wait and see. I got an
All right.
ounce. I got an
Okay.
ounce, but it might not be a 1 ounce coin. But anyway, so they did a 1 ounce and a 1/10 ounce, and SD Bullion did put them on pre-sale 24 hours early. If you bought the 5 ounce silver version, they sent you an email with special links because you couldn't find it within the store if you didn't have that special link, right? 24 hours later, anybody could go on there. I still think they're available. I It's a video I'm working on. I think they're a great buy. I do, over top like an Eagle right now today, but I still think they made way too many of them. But that's just my opinion, and I
What was
would
the
talk about.
mintage?
They made 10,000 of the 1/10 and 2,000 of the 1 ounce, and they
Gold.
made, yes, the gold,
Oh, that's too many.
and they made 4,999 5 ounce silver coins.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
too many too. I don't know,
It's
man. I feel like 5,000 would have been a good number for like a 1 ounce silver. If you're doing 5 ounce silver, it should be 1,000 or
Should
less,
be, but I
500 or
I thought
less.
I heard they're doing a 1 ounce silver, but I haven't really seen much on it. Um, I just thought they would have stuck at least the 1/10 ounce. They would have stuck around the same amount that they did as the silver. The only silver version we have right now that we can talk about.
Paulie, let me ask you regarding your collection.
Yeah.
What are some of your rarest pieces? Like one of whatever of government minted pieces.
Well, I don't know, without knowing, I guess, how many were minted and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, the St. Gaudens is a
Yes.
good one to have. It's one of my favorite coins. I have a couple
Mhm.
of them. But anything rare would be the rarest piece that I have is a couple of those Wolverine coins that I found.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the thing is that's just after the fact. It's still just a bullion coin, and not many people know about it. So yes, it is rare, and yes, there are quite a few people that know about it, but not enough to really kick it off and make it worth what I think it's actually worth, and what I think it should be valued at. But what I think it should be valued at, it doesn't make a difference at this point.
Right. Yeah.
And what I have left is locked away, and I'll never, I mean, it's not that I'll never take them out and look at them again, but they're not here with me anymore. I've put them somewhere else. I just don't
Yeah.
want to have that urge, just the urge of, man, let's just get rid of them.
Yeah. And they're not for sale. I got one left and mine's
Yeah.
not for sale.
Yeah, that's just it. It's a cool piece, and yeah, I probably should stop doing it, but I still do it today. Anytime I see somebody that has a full 9 coin set for sale, I gotta let them
Yeah.
know that, hey man,
It's
you
not
should
complete.
you should be selling these, as this is not a complete set, because it's technically it's not. Even though you couldn't go on a bullion website and buy I mean, you could have at one point in time, you just didn't know about it until you and I and DOA,
Right.
and there you go. It
Yeah.
just wasn't talked about. And then now it was, and then they were gone just like that.
Yeah.
And
Very cool pieces though.
they are. They are.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
But what about you? What would you
Oh,
consider, I guess, rare? What do you have that's rare?
I think I have, well, I've got the well, what would you call this one right here? The Hades antiqued 5 ounce. Those are
Yeah.
like one of 50. Those are all
Yeah.
right, but
Yeah.
the one that I like, I think the most, I have a Jurassic Park gold 1 ounce, or
I've
maybe it's
got the
Jurassic
silver
World.
version. It's Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
I got the same one, but in silver. I give it to my son. He loves Jurassic Park. Loves it.
yeah,
I
it's a
let him
cool
go through my
piece.
collection one time, and that's what he picked out. And now it's in his little box. It is very
So
cool.
I got the gold 1 ounce, and that
100.
graded, yeah, that the vintage of 100,
Yeah, 100.
and that graded as a 70, and I think I got first release on it. So yeah, so
You did a
that's
reel or something on Instagram of it. I remember it. I remember
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's a pretty cool one. And then I also have the what is it, Disney 100 10 ounce
10 ounce
bar, the big
bar.
one. Yeah, that
Yep.
one graded 70 also. Sean D'Souza sent it in for me, and came back first release or early release or something like that. The 10 ounce Disney, man, it's a nice piece. I believe there was one other one that did grade 70
Okay.
prior to mine grading, and that one sold for 5,000. The initial purchase
Woo!
price on that, yeah, initial purchase price was like 750. Grading was like another 100 because it was a large capsule,
Yep.
and yeah, so the ROI would be pretty nice if I could sell it, but no
Wow.
buyers right now. I've got it on
Yeah,
eBay.
right.
I've got no buyers.
Really.
People don't like Disney, I think.
Yeah, it
It
happens. It happens. They'll get over it.
does.
They'll get
Right.
over it. They're bet they're watching same people watching Disney Plus. They're watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus.
There you go, man.
You
All right,
know.
man. So we got Christmas coming up.
All I want for Christmas is so
A little bit of everything, really.
yeah, a little bit of everything. I messaged you 2 weeks ago and I said, man, make it about yourself. Just act as if you could get it, within means or whatever, but don't. It's really tough, by the way. It is really tough because everything I could think of, I'm like, man, I don't know, because I don't know what the wife would say, right? Because no, we got all these kids to shop for. So I had to put all that aside and say, no, it's just me and it's just
Right.
you. So
Right.
you're shopping for yourself, and these are going to be our top 10 on our wish list. So if you're listening out there, old Saint Nick, pay close attention.
Number 10.
Number 10. You go first, brother. What's your number 10 on your list?
So I kind of put it excuse me, I kind of put it in order of price, so lowest to highest.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
my number
Gotcha.
10, I'll show you right here, is a nice surveillance system. So currently we do have some cameras set up, and
Yep.
it's all right. It does the job, but I really want a few around the whole property,
You
mounted
want the
high
closed
up.
circuit television Scarface style.
I do, and I want it run on solar too. So
Gotcha.
power cuts out, we still have the cameras running.
Still got a little
Uh,
bit of juice. Still got a little
yeah.
bit of juice.
So yeah, that'll be on the cheaper side of my number 10.
Oh man, mine's really cheap then.
Yeah, what do you got? What do you got?
Number 10 for me is going to be this guy right here. This is a
Ooh,
$225 microphone. The Shure MV7. I can't read my own writing. MV7 USB mic, which is basically a step up from what I use right here. Just get this one. You can pick up a lot of, without a pop filter. You can pick up a lot of doing stuff like that, or smacking
right.
the lips. It picks a lot of that stuff up, where this one, it's got this stuff built in it that this one doesn't, and just by itself it's clearing all that out for me as I'm talking. So depending on whether or not I want to get close to the mic like this, and then hit them with a P where I just don't want to
Mhm.
drive people nuts doing it. But it happens sometimes. And to me, I mean, this is something that I'll probably end up buying. So
It's
that's
really
that.
nice, man.
It's number 10 on my list because it's not that important. It's an investment here for myself, but it's something that I've really wanted to upgrade. And to do that, to start off with, to upgrade something, that would be about the lowest thing to upgrade, would be a mic for me right now.
Yeah, I think people underestimate what a difference a good mic can make to your
Especially if
streaming.
you're not editing. If you're not editing,
Yeah.
and we talked about this in the last one, um it's you get so sick and tired of hearing yourself, especially with all the stuff that you don't want to hear on a microphone. You pick it up, and hopefully this will help with that.
Right. That's good. I like it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Okay. Number 9.
Number 9, crossing off 10.
So I get these ads on Facebook, I get
Oh,
them
damn.
on Instagram, and therefore this is a cleaver. This is actually just a meat cleaver. But it's a really crazy, scary looking one.
Crazy
and
looking
it,
one. Yeah.
and it comes with this mounting block and everything. I think these retail for like 150 or something like that. And they got a few different styles, but yeah, I don't know why. Probably about 2 months ago, I started getting these ads. And I think when you look at the ad for too long, they start sending you more. So like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
every 10 images, I get this thing in my face. And I'm
You
like,
just want to play
yeah,
Fruit Ninja.
I do, man. I want to slice a melon open with
You
that
want to play
sucker.
Fruit Ninja in the kitchen.
For no other reason, because I mean, yeah, we have some, livestock that we handle from time to
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
but let's be honest, I probably would use this 1 or 2 times, and I would just leave it mounted on the wall somewhere.
Right. Nice conversation piece, if anything.
Yeah,
It
so this
looks
one
super shiny, super sharp. It looks.
yeah, so this is called the Dow Strong Annihilator Meat Cleaver.
Oh my lord.
Of course, they give it a strong name, so
Of course. Of course. Why wouldn't they? Okay. My number 9. Not that I'm huge into watches, but I do have a couple nice watches. Nothing, no, nothing in the thousands of dollars range, right? I think that's not knocking anybody who's got a nice watch. I myself personally, I just think that's a little bit ridiculous. But there is a nice watch out there, and it is above $1,000 that I have had my eye on, and I know this is something that it's just not worth it for me to go and buy. But if I was to buy one, it would be this right here. This is actually it's called Shinola. It's a Detroit-based watch company made
Hmm.
in the city of Detroit, and this is actually called the Lake Huron model, 43 millimeter. I think that's what I got written down. Yup, 43 millimeter, and it has a price tag of $1,450. It's
hot
just
damn.
it's just a simple watch. They look nice on your wrist. They're big. They stick out, and they actually have they have Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Superior, all different inlays. Like this one's orange. I say Lake Huron because that's what surrounds me is Lake Huron. So yeah, it's got a pretty stiff price tag, but not when you're talking about a Rolex that's 15, 20, $30,000. Very nice watches. Some people call them investments, call them what you want. I would
Right.
rather have about 15 of these.
Those are nice.
Yeah. So
Very
that's
cool.
number 9 for me. Just a nice little wristwatch to add to the collection.
All right. So the next one for me, I don't have an image up of it, but I'll just tell you what it is. It's a don't laugh. It's an incubator, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for I'm guessing eggs.
Yeah.
All
So you
right.
you know you know I got chickens, and that's like a side hustle that,
A damn
dude,
good one from what you
like I'm
say.
I'm not even kidding. I have my incubators running 24/7. As soon as they're empty, I fill them back up
Yep.
because I've got people buying from me. This one dude has basically told me as long as I'm
He
hatching,
comes up
he's buying.
scratching like this. He comes up
Yeah,
like
he's
this.
like,
You got any more? You got any more?
I need some chickens, man. I need your chickens. Yeah, no, but I mean it's steady. It's real steady. So there's this
That's
one.
good. That's good.
It's called I think it's called a Brincia or something like that, Brincy or Brincia, and it does 56 eggs at a time. Has an automatic hygrometer, so it can adjust the humidity
Okay.
inside the thing all on its own. So it's like set it and forget it, George Foreman style. And then in 21 days, you got some birds.
I was just going to ask that is how long it takes from the time you set an egg in there till a bird hatches, and that's regardless of what you're using now, or is it 21 days what you use now, or is this going to speed up the process?
So it really depends on the size of the bird, the size of the egg. So the smaller eggs can come out as soon as like 18 days. And the larger eggs, some of the really big chickens, they can take as much as like 23, 24
Gotcha.
days. It's like that's pushing it, but yeah, but usually 21 days is when they're all popping out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's just something I learned new today.
Yeah, man.
Everybody out there listening. Speaking of everybody out there listening, if you are watching this on the YouTube, play along with us and let us know in the chat what you would like on your top 10 list, and we will follow along with you there as well. My number 8, and like you said, you went kind of in order of price range. I just kind of went in order of top 10, right? So this is actually one of the cheaper items on my top 10 list, but it is needed. And if my kids are out there listening to this, let me tell you, a boot dryer is a lifesaver for my line of work um all winter long. You know, the thing about these is what makes them so nice is kind of like you said, you just plug it in, you walk away from it. You get out of work, you throw your boots on it. You never want to really unplug these things. They have such a small heating element in them that it's best just to leave them plugged in, keep them running. They're not drawing much juice to begin with, but letting that thing heat up, cool down, heat up, cool down, they tend to break, and then
Mm,
you got a no good boot dryer. So that's kind of what I had one for quite a few years, and it just kind of quit. So this
mm.
is one of those ones that is kind of urgency, if you'd want to say that. And there ain't nothing like throwing on a nice pair of warm boots in the morning. So a boot dryer, a $50 price tag on the Amazon.
So, do you keep your boots outside or inside?
Okay, so it always used to be inside because we never had a garage. We're building that garage, so I've kept them out in the garage, but it's getting colder
Oh
and our
yeah.
garage isn't insulated yet, but it's all set up. Once my garage is spray foamed and drywalled and all that, I have a heater in the garage all wired in, ready to go. But as soon as it's insulated, I can keep the garage around 45, 50 degrees if I want to all winter long. And then I continue to keep them outside. But the point is that you're walking around in snow or ice and watery stuff, and those boots get so cold, and my feet inside are dry. But when you put on a big old heavy pair of boots like that the next day, it's not fun.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so good for the boot just to keep them nice and dry. So yeah,
No, I hear you.
$50.
Yeah, we being on the farm, we don't bring our boots inside because they're usually covered in
Yeah.
some animal droppings of some
Yep.
sort.
Yep.
So yeah, they're cold as ice in the morning, man. That's
Yeah.
not fun at all.
They actually make double stacks. So I don't know, however many boots you got, you could line them up, plug a couple in, and stack them up, and you're good to go. They stay nice and
Right
toasty,
on.
man. You wouldn't believe it, but they do. They just you get home, set them on there, and they're on there until you take them off, and you don't have to worry about anything being too hot because they're meant to just slowly generate a little bit of heat up through that boot, and it just cycles everything.
All right. So are we on number 7 now?
Now we're on 7. You started.
All right, number 7. So again, I don't have an image of this one, but this is a little bit of a story evolved into a Christmas wish list item. Uh, we had a we. I want to get a well put in, right?
Uh-huh.
So I bought all of the equipment, all of the stuff to put in a shallow well. They'd go down about 30 feet, and it's basically I don't know if you ever done it before, but it's a 1.5 inch steel pipe. At the very end of it is about a 5 foot stretch of it that has like a perforated pipe that
Yep.
allows the water to get in, but keeps all the sediment out. And it has a spike at the bottom of it, and it's called the well point. And you're supposed to hammer that sucker down. You know, you use one of those post drivers,
Yeah.
get
Postal.
that
Yeah.
sucker down. So about I don't know 5 feet in, I realized that's hard as hell, man. That's really it is really a
No
lot of
doubt.
work. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. I'm standing up and my wife is like, let's go cheap. And instead of buying the 5 foot stretches of pipe, we're gonna buy 10 foot stretches of pipe because it's significantly cheaper when you buy the longer pipe.
Uh-huh.
So I bought these 10 foot stretches of pipe and I screwed it on. Dude, that sucker's way the hell up there, and I got to get up there with this. So I'm
Yep.
standing on top of a ladder, and
Top
I'm
of
like, this
ladder.
this friggin' sucks.
Yep.
So my
Oh,
wish
I hear
list
you.
item would be for somebody to come and do it for me.
Come drill you well.
Drill that well, and if while you're at it, put in a deep well too. Those go
Yeah,
down like
just
300 feet.
send it deep. Just send it deep, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. I hear you. Well, we got the same thing, but I have to tile my yard because it holds so much water that so I ran these tiles through the low spots, and then now it's the same perforated tile. It's 6 inches around this plastic field tile, and you put it down so long, and everything's drains away from my house now.
Mhm.
Well, where it's settled in the yard, it gets not pumped out, but just drains out to a ditch out back. But it's the same kind of it just there's no use for the water now. It just it's going to Lake Huron is where it ends up somewhere, but it's kind of the same thing. It's just I'm not catching it and using it as a well.
All right. Cool,
It's
man.
decent. Number 7 on Pauly's list is going to be this guy right here.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Talk to me about it.
this is something I don't have and I always wanted, and especially will come in handy if I ever do any elk hunting or anything like that. But this is a spotting scope made by Vortex. It's actually a Vortex Optics Diamondback. It's about $400. This is about their cheapest model they make. You can get up in price from this one right here. But I just want this on a tripod, basically for now, looking out a window of my house so I can see out back, looking at deer up close and personal with them. Where binoculars work fine, but one of these just makes it so much nicer. So much nicer. Basically, think of a smaller not microscope, but telescope. And it's not a telescope. It's just a souped up pair of binoculars, but just a one. What do you call that? Monocular.
You're right.
Yeah, and
Does it
that's what it's
have
used for.
infrared or anything?
No, no, no. This is just it's just for viewing. It's just for you viewing. You use these a lot for spotting animals on like mountainsides and stuff. If you're
Ah,
sitting,
okay.
you spend a lot of time you're mule deer hunting or elk hunting. You do a lot of spotting of the animals because it's just so wide open, and you can look hundreds and hundreds of yards away from you. And it's just something you can do all day just to try and find an elk or find a mule deer, and then decide whether or not you want to try and go on a hunt or figure out where he's going to go and maybe get to him, the next day, stuff like that. But yeah, so this is something I have always wanted and just haven't really done it yet. So it's on the list.
Very neat. I like it.
So that was number 7. On to 6.
Number 6. All right, here you go. So I
Oh
wasn't
yeah, I
sure
like
how
it.
much I can or can't show. Uh, so some kind of a home defense shotgun. I was looking at a few different ones,
Yep.
and this one kind of has everything I'm looking for. The A300 by Beretta. Here's a
Okay.
potentially a better shot, a
Well, there
better
you
image
go.
of it.
Yep. That's
Um,
better.
yeah, I think this one does not have the longer capacity.
No,
Um,
no, it doesn't look like it.
no, but there was one that they'd
I
have
would say
that
about
it goes.
5.
Yeah, it goes the full length of the barrel, a different model. But anyways, the A300 is semi-automatic, so I like that.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
looks good. I like
For
it.
sure.
I need something like that.
Well, that looks good. That's what's the price tag on that? I know it's got to be steep.
$9.99. So for
9.99.
for a shotgun,
Not
it's all right.
terrible. So
Yeah,
it's not as
it's not
bad as
too
I
bad.
thought it was going to be.
No.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Um, did I put this picture? Oh yeah, I did right here. So I'm a golfer as well when I do have some free time. And the clubs that I've had for quite a few years. And this is a set of tailor-made rocket balls. So that's going to be all your irons from pitching wedge to 3-iron and then it's giving you a 3-wood, a 5-wood, a hybrid club, which would be in between an iron and a wood, kind of lofted, really good, and then a driver. I'm not so worried about the bag, but this is all I could find. I couldn't find just the clubs. I have a decent bag, but price tag on this with the bag is $1,300 for smacking a ball around some green grass, which I don't spend very much time in the green grass. I'm usually in there in that deep brown looking stuff off to the side. But if I'm going to be in that deep brown looking stuff, I want to be looking good in it with a nice set of clubs.
Nice, man.
We
Nice.
have, go ahead.
I was gonna say I personally do not golf. I think I've been once or twice, but I know that those clubs can get so
Pricey,
expensive, so
pricey,
expensive, man.
pricey,
Crazy.
pricey. We have actually a championship golf course that was built, oh, shoot, I couldn't tell you how many years ago, many years ago. It started out in the middle of a field. It started with 3 holes. They had the plan for 18 holes. And I'm going to say at least 25 plus years that this
Mhm.
thing has been in the works. And the last 10, it's been nothing but a beautiful, beautiful golf course. We've only really had one other golf course in the area, which is a very nice golf course. And this one that we have, it's 6 miles from my house now, is a you if anybody was into golf, they would love this course. It's long, it's tight, it's long, it's tight. What are we talking about here? Uh, it's come together so nicely. All the work that they put in this thing is just turned into something great, and it just keeps getting better with the trees finally growing up and everything they've planted. It's just a nice place to hang out.
That's great. Very cool, man.
So that was 6. We're halfway home.
Yeah, man. All right, number 5. Here we go. So with those ads that I've been getting,
Yeah, there you go.
I get this one too. So this is actually a sashimi blade. It's
Okay.
meant for cutting fish, probably gigantic freaking tuna. You ever seen like those
Oh
Japanese
yeah.
markets where they take them up to auction and then they cut into them and they look at the cuts and see, you know, the composition or the striations of them,
Yep.
and then
See how
that's
the
how they.
fat is and all
Yeah,
that good
man.
stuff.
So yeah, this is one of those blades. What do you think that'd be priced at?
As fancy as that thing looks, people, and if you can't see it, this thing is fancy.
It's
I'm
Damascus.
I'm gonna say $800.
So the shorter, cheaper ones are about 800 bucks. The
Okay.
longer they get, and some of these are pretty long. This one right here, I think, is 1600,
Woo.
and they have one that's like 1800.
Woo.
So yeah, I mean they're handcrafted, whatever high grade steel,
Sure.
Damascus. You can see the
Sure.
bands on the blade, so it's
Yeah.
Damascus steel. Good
That's
stuff, man.
nice. That's a nice one to have.
I could use them to shave my head.
Oh man. Be careful. Be careful. All right, dude. Everybody knows what this is. Well, not I gotta stop saying that. Everybody doesn't know what this is. This is
What's that?
an American Gold Buffalo. This is United States of America, the U.S. Mint season 24 karat gold for us to hold our wealth in. And this one happens to be a 2024. They are on pre-sale right now. Many different bullion dealers. And as we talked about before, this price is actually coming from JM Bullion, not a sponsor of this show. Um, the spot price $2,019 right now today for this coin, $2,250 from JM Bullion.
Hmm.
One of I like to own gold buffaloes. It's a great coin if you're talking 24 karat gold from the US Mint. This is pretty much all we offer for 24 karat other than commemorative stuff. Some of that comes in 24 karat gold, but then you're talking a heck of a lot more premium on their commemorative stuff. The American Gold Buffalo, it's I don't have the buffalo per se. We're looking at the Indian head here. It's
Mhm.
just an iconic US Mint coin. So that's what
Right
I'm
on.
looking at. That's what I'm looking at. And
I
that's,
like it.
that's also doable for me. It's something that I would, instead of material things, that's something that I would love to own. Like not the golf clubs, not the microphone. The gold buffalo is it's a good choice in my opinion.
I actually do not own a gold buffalo at the moment.
Really?
I had one.
You had that
And
badass reverse proof.
Man, you got good memory.
I got
That's the
very
last
good.
one.
I'm telling you, but it's 7 years of staying sober, man. Things start to stick.
That's crazy,
You
dude.
know,
You remember random stuff that I didn't
I
even remember
do.
that.
I do.
Yeah. So,
2013.
you're good. Yeah, I think isn't that the only year they made
I
them? I
think it
think.
is,
Yeah.
and that's why
So
that
that's
one was kind of easy.
okay. Right on, man. Yeah, no, that the buffaloes are
Cheat a little
gorgeous.
bit. Cheat.
What
It
I
is.
like the most about them is that they are pure
Yes.
versus
Yes.
22 karat on the American Gold Eagles, which is great because it can be used as coinage. It'll stay more durable.
Yep.
But I do
Yep.
like the purity of a buffalo.
Yep. Yep. And that's just it. And so for anybody listening, the difference there is the eagle. So go back to the St. Gaudens, right? That was used as money, right? So we get into the bullion, American Gold Eagle. That's what it is. It's gold bullion. It's $100 face value, but you're not going to pay $100 for it. You're going to pay thousands of dollars for it, and it's still made as if you could go and slide that across the bar, or flip it somewhere to somebody for paying for whatever. It's still made to be durable. Where the buffalo, that thing's going to scratch easy. You drop it, it's going to ding easy. And that's just the way they are. That's the difference between the two different metals, because they add the copper and a little bit of silver to the eagle, and the buffalo is just pure gold.
Right. Yep. Yep. But I like the buffalo. It's
I do.
gorgeous.
I do. It's on the list.
What are we at? 4?
Number 4.
Number 4. So I had a photo of it. I don't know where it went, but anyways, my number 4 is a Colt Python. The
Colt Python?
gorgeous cowboy pistol, 357 Colt Python, preferably 6-inch barrel, all chrome. I like to have a nice cherry wood or mahogany handle on it. The grip, man, that thing's pretty. I've not shot
You
one.
want a nice piece.
I want a nice piece. I got some
Yep.
other. I mean, most of what I have is, it's like home defense stuff. But I want one that, like an heirloom piece that I can pass down.
Right.
That's a nice one, man.
No, it is. It is for sure.
One thing. So I heard it said. I don't know. Do you own a revolver? I don't know.
No revolver. No.
So I've heard it said that the beauty of something like a revolver is that the mechanism behind it is so simple that it's gonna fire. Like it won't jam on you. It won't trip you up. You just throw the bullet in.
They're heavy.
Yep, they're heavy.
They're heavy.
Pull the hammer, and it'll go.
Yeah, they are heavy, and that's kind of why. If I was to buy one, I'd probably want to hunt a deer with it.
Oh yeah.
But then also just basically say I have it, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me, and this is where I get kind of cheesy, but not cheesy, because I do like to read. So just a couple good books. I have a couple examples of books that I've read, and I just I hang on to them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them. But this is actually a really good book. I don't know if you know who this gentleman is right here. Edward Snowden.
Yeah, of course.
This is a really good book called Permanent Record.
I recommend
it. Very good movie. There's so much more in this book. Very good book. The guy did some great stuff, and he's being punished for it. So that's the way I feel about it, right?
That book made me go around my house and put little stickers all over every camera.
The movie, yeah.
Everything I got.
I'm telling you. Another one, and some people feel differently about this guy, but I've always dug him. Matthew McConaughey, Green Lights. This is one that I have just on audio as well, and I've listened to this book multiple times mowing grass or doing something. This is a great book for just helping you through stuff. He talks about different things in his life. He's not just the all right guy. He's a real person, and he's got some great stories in that book. So that's another one I recommend. And then I read this one, and I'm reading the sequel to this one. This one's called Hack. The author, Mark Pulaski, who happens to be my uncle, by the way.
Really?
He has a second one to this, which I don't have on me. It's in my work truck, but it's called Friendly Fire. Investigation books. The Story of Nick Byron, an investigator. These books are written just how my uncle sounds. So when I'm reading this book, I'm
You can
almost
hear him.
reading it in the voice of my uncle, if you know what I mean. That's
That's cool.
how cool it is to read something of his. So yeah, he's a published author. He's got a couple books out working on. Well, the third one's done, just working on getting them published. But yeah, some good reads right there. But I just like a good book to read every once in a while. Not that I sit down and read the whole book in a day or two, but it's just something I can always come back to. So a
You know,
good book, couple good books.
I was really into books for several years a while back. They were mostly, admittedly, they were mostly like self-help books, personal development, and
Yeah.
they were good, man. They were good. But I did get into some nonfiction for a while.
Well,
It's
there's
been a while. The last book that I read, it was probably about 3-4 months ago, but it was a great
okay.
book too. Good stuff.
Penthouse Forum.
Yeah, right.
But so
No.
like this is another one. Like I would recommend it, but it's based on my area. And actually we were talking about doing kind of show like this, but this thing is thick, man. So it's Murders in the Thumb, which in the Thumb of Michigan is where I am. And these are actual events that actual event that happened in this book. And I mean, it's a really good book. I just wouldn't want to recommend it because people wouldn't understand. Like the area where this happened is 3 miles down the road from me. It's good stuff. So I dig it because it's local, right? It's local
Yeah.
history.
No, and I totally get it. Actually, the last book that I read was almost entirely based in the province of Iraq that I was stationed in.
Gotcha.
So when they were describing everything from the tents to the chow halls to the people, I was like, dude, does like I remember it.
You could get it right.
I could
Right.
see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very cool.
No, that's cool. So yeah, a couple good books. Number 4 on my list. We are on 3. Number 3.
Number 3. All right, this bad boy right here, anything
Ooh.
like it, just some older model truck, right?
Yeah.
Dodge, Chevy, Ford. I'm not really picky. This one looked pretty, so I threw it on here, but just an old classic truck that's runs on a
Preferably a
carburetor.
little different color.
Yeah, the color I don't care. That color looks fine.
It's
I think that
cream.
color
I
looks
think it's got a white
yeah.
tie. It don't look terrible. It don't look
Nah,
terrible.
it looks
Yeah,
fine.
definitely carbureted. You just don't get that smell like you get this. You when you see one of these going by on the street or hear it coming, and you stand next to the road, that's that smell of carbureted fuel. You just can't fake it.
That's
Can't
right,
fake
man.
it. Can't do it. 3 for me. I actually made a flip flop here because actually closer to number 1 is where number 3 needs to be. So this actually just happened this morning. My coffee pot it decided to quit, my coffee maker. So number 3 on my list, which I don't have a picture of because I'm not too picky. I just want something that's going to make me a damn cup of coffee in the morning. And I don't have that now. So I have to go to the store until
Oh no.
until I get this new coffee maker. So
You do
coffee maker.
Keurigs?
Yeah. So, and actually, what I had the Keurig that makes, because sometimes I just get sick and tired of these cups or adding stuff into the little cup so you can have a fresh ground cup of coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I bought one that you can actually brew a pot of coffee instead of just one little cup. I can brew a whole pot. Cold days and stuff, I like to take a thermos full to work. And it made by Keurig brand or whatever, but it just, for some reason, anytime I put a cup in it now, one of the K cups they call them, it's just getting back. It's washing out the grounds and clogging the whole system, and it's just
Oh,
not cool. Yeah. So I don't know if it's puncturing too big of a hole now, but anytime you put something in it, like, so when I left to work this morning, it seemed to be working just fine. But when my wife decided to make a cup of coffee, she had a mess to clean up.
no bueno, man. Yeah,
she was not happy. She was not
yeah.
happy about that, but it got cleaned up. But the pot didn't make it. The old maker did not make it.
Right on, man. Yeah, I'm not that much of a coffee drinker. My wife, on the other hand, she will not be pleasant without her morning
Without
cup of
some,
Joe.
yeah,
No,
I hear
man,
you.
it's awful, but it's all good, man. It's all good. All right, number 2.
Number 2.
Number
So
2.
that one's gone. All right.
So I would love to get this thing going right here. I need
Oh yeah. Well, you're
solar
gonna need that to
panels
go with your security system.
with the security system, with the water pump, with, all of it. I just need, so not just a couple of panels. I'm talking enough panels to actually sustain
Do
our
something.
our
Yeah.
livelihood. You know what I mean? I need
Yep.
to run our deep
You need a bunch.
freezer.
Yep.
Yeah, just
Yep.
cover the whole roof,
You
I
you
don't
need and you do need a bunch of them. You do, and that's the reality behind it. So it takes a good chunk of change to be able to do something like that and to build that back after so many years of spending that money to save. It takes a while for the savings to kick in from, not paying that bill. Unless
Yep.
this is just going to be a backup, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're talking about being totally off the grid and going that style.
Oh, that's what I
Um
want, man. That's
yeah,
that's totally
exactly.
me.
Exactly. So it takes some time to get that back, but it's a good chunk of change to get started. I think they have a lot of programs that help though. So if that's something you're into, it's definitely something to look into more. They have a lot of programs that help go solar. I know that.
So, and that's something else that I guess I don't know enough about it,
Hmm.
but my understanding is if you do go through one of those programs where they help subsidize it, you don't ever really fully own it. Is someone
Sure.
someone told me that you don't ever
And
fully
it's
own it.
it's it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. I would have to look
Yeah,
into that more. That would obviously, I would think that would urge me away from going to. I mean, I would go a different route. I
right.
wouldn't want someone being able to come in and just rip the stuff off my roof.
Repo.
And
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's something we've kicked around too, dude. My house is 75 feet long, and then I just added a big ass garage onto it. And
Plenty of real estate.
our roof faces south, so
Yeah.
it's sun all day. It's
Yeah.
sun
Us too.
all day.
Us
So
too.
it makes sense. It's just something to think about. And don't but believe me, we've been thinking about it. So I'm
Very
with you
cool.
on it. I'm with you on it.
All right.
Number two, right? Are
Yeah.
we?
For you.
Yeah, number
Yeah.
two.
What?
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. I don't have a picture of this, but I believe it's going to happen this year. And so many of us that live in this state want it to happen. I would like a pair of tickets to a Detroit Lions playoff game. And I think it's going to happen this year. I
You
don't
think?
see how it could not happen this year, right? We are one game away from being double digit winners. We're sitting at 9-3. We're tied for the best record in the NFC with the San Francisco 49ers. And that would be a sweet, sweet Christmas gift is the pair of Detroit Lions playoff tickets. That's
That
where
would
I'm
be
going with
neat.
my number two. I had to move
All
that for
right.
number three because that's a little bit more important than that coffee maker, I think.
When was
Bryce
the
couldn't
last
tell
the
you.
last time? No,
Oh
the last
shoot,
time.
90s in the 90s, the
Yeah.
Lions had a playoff game, I believe.
Dang.
Well, they've had playoff games, just haven't won, I guess, but not very
Okay.
many. Maybe two since the 90s. Barry Sanders years.
Right
We
on.
haven't been good. We have not been good at all. And we weren't even good with the best running back in the whole damn league. We could not help him out. So there you go. Let's do it this year.
Well, yeah. Fingers crossed for you, man. I hope they make it.
I hope so.
Number one. All right. So
Number one.
my number one doesn't have a photo. Doesn't need a photo.
Okay.
It's land. I need some land, man. I need
Okay.
like at least 10, potentially 20 acres. If not, maybe like 5,000 acres would be great. But I
Good.
was my wife and I got talking about it the other day about how that's one resource that they're not making more of it. You know what I mean? It's
No,
like
never again.
it's
You
never
ain't.
you can't. And if you look at all of the parcels that people live on now, once upon a time they were part of a much larger parcel that just got subdivided over and over and
Mm-hmm.
over again.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at these, these neighborhoods, these HOA neighborhoods that have 200 houses on them. That was somebody's farm once,
Yeah.
and the person sold it, and it'll never go back to being a big chunk of land again. As
No.
population keeps growing and
Well,
people keep
maybe.
moving into certain, yeah, maybe, but not likely, man.
Right.
As populations keep growing and people keep moving into the certain areas, it's just going to keep happening over and over again. You could still find nice parcels,
Mm-hmm.
but the prices are crazy and they're usually much further out of town than you'd expect. Like we're lucky where we are right now. We got just under 2 acres, but it's within city limits.
Sure.
And it's like you don't
Which is
find
tough
that.
to, no, I was just gonna say that's tough to find. I mean,
Yeah,
you're talking, you should have a lot, basically,
yeah,
not a lot, but just a single lot, and whatever those are broken up as, and whatever, they are, is basically what they are in little towns or cities or whatever. But
yeah,
just over 2 acres, that's damn good for being in the limits.
yeah. And there's one lot. There's one we'll call him neighbor that lives probably about 5 miles from us. This dude has at least 100 acres, man. It is
Yeah,
huge. It is
yeah.
massive, massive, massive acreage. Tons of cows. He's got a pond. He's got a mansion on it. That guy's sitting pretty, and I don't think he'll ever sell. I hope he doesn't.
Well, the property we bought, it adjoins our house property, which our house sits on 2 acres, and I bought the 25 acres that butts up to it, right? So beyond that, there's another 8 acres that I basically would love to buy, but the people who own it would have bought the property that I bought had they done the same thing that I did. The property I bought wasn't for sale. I just knew the guy that owned it, and just shot him. And this actually all went down during the COVID years. Um, just shot him a message that, hey, we're very interested in buying this 25 acres. Are you guys looking to sell? He says, we're always looking to sell. I said, okay, then we need to figure something out. So
That's awesome.
he sent me, so it's broken down into 3 lots, right? It's broken down into a couple 2.5 acre lots, and then the rest is all by itself. So he sent me, I said, look, don't break it down that way. I know that's how you're saying. I said, I want to buy all of it. I don't want to buy just 2.5 acres here too. I want
Right.
the whole 25 acres. Just let me know what you want per acre, and let's work something out. So it didn't take very long, and we worked something out, and there we bought it. But beyond that is, again, like I said, that 8 acres, and I would love to buy that. And I have a neighbor, and he's right on the corner. They only own, it's like a quarter acre right on
Mm.
the corner of the roads that come together. And the only reason they have that is that's where they come. That's their deer camp, believe it or not. So they have a little shack built there. They have a little sleeping shack, a little kitchen shack, and then they park campers there. And the only reason they have it there is because they own that 8 acres. Had they been able to buy that 25 acres, they'd have been set up for years and years to come.
Ah, dang.
So I'm hoping I can turn into bad neighbor and they just decide to sell. I
I
wouldn't do
don't
that.
know, man.
I
I don't
wouldn't do
know.
that.
I almost feel like you gotta wait them out like
I
three,
know.
3, 4 decades.
Yeah.
Wait till they
Yeah.
get
My
old.
kids will wait them out. My kids will wait them out. But you said something that I think would be a really good show, before I forget about it. You talked about solar, and you talked
Mhm.
about all these houses being built. And I was in a conversation with a guy. We were talking electric vehicles, and how they just are terrible and would not work. We cannot do that to our power grid, and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Listen, man, listen. People, those 200-acre housing units. How much juice do you think they're running through all those houses on a daily basis, man? And this is
Tons.
happening everywhere in this country, that there are so many things being built that take so much more juice than me plugging in a car to my house. Even if everybody was doing one, you're still building houses. You're
Mhm.
running more juice on a daily basis than a car is taking being plugged in. I mean, it's such a huge number. It's such a huge number that it's just nuts. It's just, when something new comes about, people get afraid of it and they just don't
Yeah.
want to learn about it. So I think that would be a good show at some point in time.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. You
but
talk about that, talk about we'll let it go there. We'll let it go there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's not that I have strong feelings about it. It's just, it's worth learning something about, I guess.
Yeah, it's worth a discussion.
Yeah. Number one, right here.
Show it.
That bad girl right there. So what this is the 2023 version, the Spec Series M&P 9 millimeter pistol. This, so I basically have this sitting just to my left here, but it's a M&P 9 millimeter. It's the performance version. So this is just something new. It's a, whatever you want to call that. Well, what color you call that? OD
Yeah,
green.
olive drab. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. and then a little bit of composite here and there. But man, there's nothing in my mind. This, if for the price, I've seen so many torture tests on Smith and Wesson M&Ps that it's what I choose to carry. It's what I choose to hang on to. It's what I leave around, not just leave laying around my house, but as far as protection, you know what I'm saying? You really can't go wrong with that. Price tag's a bit steep because it is a performance style pistol, and you're looking at about $1,000 right there. But that would be, if I'm going shopping for myself and I got $1,000 in my pocket, take me to the dealer. This is what we're going to buy. The coffee maker can wait.
Dang, I like it, man.
I love it, dude. They make a good weapon, and that's not knocking anything that Glock makes. Glock makes a great weapon too, and they're basically that. They're cheap enough just to buy another one if something was to go wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I think of Glock. And I've owned Glocks, but I've also gotten rid of them because they're bulky. To me, I don't have very big hands. So they are a little bit more bulky to me.
Nice. That was a good list, man. I like it.
I think we did pretty good.
Now we just got to see if we can drop this in our wives' mailboxes or something. Text it to them, see if they'll get it.
I'm banking on Santa. I'm banking on them.
Santa. Problem is, my Santa withdraws from my bank account. So whatever, man. It's all good.
I put it on my YouTube channel. Picture me and my wife with Santa and Mrs. Santa. And I was actually talking to him about a certain something, and he's like, "Yeah, well, we don't make that though." I'm like, come on, man.
Just one for me.
Just have them whip it up quick.
Yeah. That's funny, man. Good stuff.
Well, yeah, man. So that was that. That's our list. I hope you all had fun playing along with us. And we want to check you back here next week.
See you then.